Hi, Kia ora. I'm Jessica Woods, and this is the weekly energy report for week beginning the 6th of July 2020. So, you may be feeling some of the pressure starting to it's been pretty intense. You will have looked at your own self, you would certainly have been looking at your relationship with others over the past few weeks. And there may have been an intensity out of whatever situations you were seeing, whether that was outside of yourself in groups, things that are going on around the world. You may have been feeling like you wanted to rally in there and support and, get involved in situations or groups that you wouldn't normally be involved in. And that may still be continuing. If there is, you may be feeling a feeling of unrest, or you may be really starting to what I call wake up and whatever your thing is, be wanting to support that cause and see the change. Basically, we're all waiting for that feeling of relief, of change. We're going through a massive kind of acceleration of our evolution, and that is coming in ways that are making us, as I said, wake up to whatever that is, to our own inner truths, and seeing things for what they are. So there's going to be a lot more disclosures, there's going to be a lot more of information coming out, things that, were hidden. So lots of hidden information, the way the systems have been set up, who's doing what, and there'll be a lot of finger pointing and blaming, or potentially sort of like putting people in the spotlight, or themselves, just somehow things coming out about themselves. They might open their own mouths and say things that they didn't mean to say. So that may be what's going on sort of generally in the public eye, so to speak. There'll be a lot of tension around leaders of the world, leaders of corporations, societies. There'll be all sorts of things, as I said, that are going to be coming up. Now, this has been a quite continuing theme throughout 2020, and it will continue. I think for people individually, there's been a great sense of where do I fit into all of these changes that are happening. So a sense of wanting to kind of let it all go, let it all return to some kind of normal, but at the same time knowing that it won't, and what is normal anyway. So I think people will really be, we know, looking at their relationships, looking at how they relate to specific things that they own, or their conditioning, the patterns of how they've been doing things, if it's, work related, really questioning. And there's this real feeling, what I get is this feeling of wanting to let go, of kind of emotional withdrawal, of not wanting to be attached to anyone or anything. So I think that is a continuing kind of theme, but one of the biggest things is, how can I emotionally find my own space? I don't necessarily want to be part of these groups or these rallies or all the things that are going on at the moment globally. And as we watch those, it's more like I want to withdraw from that, and I want to thrive myself. So very much about positive affirmations, keeping your mind and your thoughts really healthy, along with well-being. Being out in nature, that's really massive at the moment, is being able to get outside and do exercise, our own well-being, what makes us feel well. So maybe looking at diet, the foods that we're consuming, and being aware of, finding more local, organic, fresh produce, that kind of thing, or, literally producing it ourselves. You may have been experimenting with those sort of things. So more of that. I think there's also an inner change that's happening that is giving us an opportunity right now, and particularly this week, to look at any childhood traumas or anything around our wounds, family issues, anything from the past. We're really going to be given an opportunity to work through some of these things. So just be gentle with yourself. Just be really easy, be gentle. So if you're coming out of relationships, thinking of going into new relationships, be gentle with yourself, and because you're still releasing a lot of well, as I say, this patterning and this conditioning of the way we've been programmed from the past. So we're making accelerated leaps and bounds in our evolution right now, but it can mean that we're like a bit thrown off, don't quite know how to handle what's going on, outer and inner. So it's finding that balance, being gentle with yourself, staying calm, because you will find that you're more sensitive at the moment, there's no doubt about it. But there's a real ability to be able to tap into your intuition, use your, your psychic third eye ability at the moment. That's going to be really high. And look for the opportunities. And I always come back to this. What do you really, really want? What do you want? What are you remembering from the past? And when I say the past, not necessarily your lineage, your what am I trying to say, like your physical past from when you were born, but beyond that, there's a great deal of awareness that is open and available to you now, and this is what we're waking up to, is that there's like deep knowing. What I really get at the moment is coming through in codes, and it's being triggered in our DNA, within in our minds, in our bodies, and as I said, our intuition is we're really being able to go, I remember that. Now, we may not be able to say, oh, it's because something happened last week, because it's not that kind of remembering. It's an inner awakening and an awareness that just something is like driving me forward to do this, to say this, to be in this place. So really, really allowing yourself to just follow your heart, and being aware that everybody's a bit sensitive at the moment, and yet being able to speak your truth, because it's that inner knowing that is driving you forward. So this week is a really good one. It's a great one to be able to notice what is happening, to stay calm, aware of the changes that are happening for everyone, and keeping that global, it's happening to everyone. On some level, we're all going through this. So let's be kind, let's be compassionate, let's be loving. And another really, really big thing to remember, which we quite often don't, and particularly when we're going through what seems like, tough times or unstable or uncertain times, is to have fun. So go out, do whatever makes you laugh. Have some fun, enjoy this next week, and I will see you next week.